Good morning. I am Ashara Ozioma, a PhD student in the Department of Special Education, University of Ibadan, and a staff from the Department of Educational Foundations, University of Lagos, Nigeria. I am interested in the area of gifted and talented education, and my title for this presentation is Differentiated Educational Programs and Academic Adjustments Among Twice Exceptional Learners in Nigeria. Who are twice exceptional learners? Twice exceptional students are also known as dual ability learners. These are gifted and talented students whose academic performance is impaired by one learning disability or the other. A gifted student possesses above average skills that may be in form of good memory, visual ability, long attention span, artistic skills, high creativity, problem-solving skills, perfectionism, which could be used positively or negatively by the students. Also, these gifted and talented students experiences one learning disability or the other, which may be in form of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, Asperger's syndrome, processing disorders, dyslexia, dyscalculia, autism, or emotional disorders. This population of learners with special needs may receive little to no appropriate attention in special, gifted, and mainstream educational programs, and as such, are unlikely to achieve satisfactory academic success. The prevalence of twice exceptionality. Within the international literature, a number of different estimates exist of the prevalence of twice exceptional students in countries. Two countries are used as examples, as is shown in the table. Firstly, in USA 2010, Rogers carried out a study and found that 14% of gifted and talented students exhibited twice exceptionality. Another study in 2013 found that 1 to 11% of students exhibited twice exceptionality. In another country, Australia, in 2002, the study showed that up to 30% of gifted students exhibited one form of learning disability or the other. And in a more current study in 2020, it was found that about 2 to 7% of all the students were manifesting twice exceptionality. However, there is no data in Nigeria as regards prevalence of twice exceptional students. This may be due to the fact that the identification of twice exceptional students has largely been ignored in the country. Identifying twice exceptional students. The identification process of twice exceptional students may be complex due to the fact that the presence of a disability may mask the gifts and talents of a student, or the gifts and talents of a student may mask the disabilities of that student. Research on this population of learners has highlighted the difficulties in the identification of these students owing to lack of uniform evaluation practices and general lack of knowledge of effective practices to engage these students. In most cases, academically advanced students are rarely assessed by school psychologists in comparison to those students who have one form of learning disability or the other, probably because they are less likely to exhibit problems that necessitate a prescriptive approach in resolving their academic needs. Although there are challenges in the identification of these twice exceptional students, here are some characteristics we can look up to, and these characteristics may present themselves in form of strengths or weaknesses. Under the strengths, twice exceptional students may manifest superior vocabulary, advanced ideas and opinions, high levels of creativity and problem-solving ability. extremely curious, imaginative, and inquisitive, wide range of interests that may not be related to school, or sophisticated sense of humor. On the other hand, twice exceptional students may manifest weakness in form of poor social skills, high sensitivity to criticisms, lack of organizational and study skills, discrepant verbal and performing skills, difficulties with written expressions, or high impulsivity. The types of twice exceptionality. There are many groups or types of twice exceptional students, and this differentiates these students from other students. Under the types, the first are those gifted students with physical disabilities, such as cerebral palsy, epilepsy, multiple sclerosis. A very good example under this is Stephen Hawking, who, despite having a neurological disability, still won a Nobel Prize. The second type are gifted students with sensory disabilities, which may include smell, touch, hearing, or visual impairments. And a good example under this is Helen Keller, who achieved a global status as an author and speaker, despite having both visual and hearing impairments. The third group are gifted students with emotional or behavioral disorders, such as anxiety, eating or panic disorders, attention-seeking, or trancing. And the fourth are those gifted students with specific learning disabilities, which may be dyslexia, attention deficit hyperactivity disorders, dysgraphia, dyscalculia. This group of students may be even more difficult to be identified, as their strengths and weakness may cause them to tilt towards average performance, and then appearing not to be in need of either gifted or special needs services. Twice exceptionality in Nigeria. In the Nigerian context, the problem is that twice exceptional students have not received adequate attention so far. This is because for many years, giftedness and disabilities have been considered distinct and mutually exclusive. However, due to greater moves towards inclusive education for all students, there has been an increased awareness that a student may have simultaneously giftedness and learning disability to various degrees. Instead, researches are focused on either gifted and talented students, or on students who have one form of learning disabilities or the other. However, Fakolade and Oyedokun 2016 assessed variables that could predict academic adjustment of gifted students with learning disabilities among junior secondary school students in Ogun State. They found in their studies that, among other factors, socioeconomic status and gender had important influence on school adjustment ability in this group of learners. Thus, there is a need for more investigations into the subject of twice exceptionality in Nigeria. In order to help twice exceptional students attain optimum academic success, there are some strategies that have been laid out as shown in the table. First, teachers should help students focus more on the strengths of teachers should help focus on strengths of twice exceptional students rather than their challenges. This means that twice exceptional students should be made to appreciate their individual differences. It is necessary for the students to be aware, understand, and respect their individual strengths and weaknesses as presented by their gifts and disabilities, respectively. This awareness will help students to be motivated and engaged despite their learning or physical disabilities. The second is to support the social and emotional needs of twice exceptional students. Twice exceptional students should be allowed additional time for task completion to alleviate anxiety. This also will help to promote mastery and accomplishment of tasks among these students. The next is to set realistic goals. Set realistic short-term goals in a way that will help twice exceptional learners who are discouraged to become motivated to reaching their set goals. Another strategy is to collaborate and communicate to provide optimal support for twice exceptional students. Collaborating and communicating with a view to providing optimal support for twice exceptional students should be encouraged, and this can be done by inviting gifted support personnel and disability support personnel to plan meetings, create balance of activities that will offer both challenge and remediation. In conclusion, the identification and academic adjustment of child exceptional students in Nigeria greatly lies in the expertise and competence of educators and significant others in the lives of these child exceptional learners. To do this, it is crucial to understand the characteristics of child exceptional students, as this will help in the identification process. Teachers may have difficulties meeting the needs of child exceptional students due to the misconception that students who are gifted have no need for special education intervention, or that gifted students are equally talented in other subjects. However, these students may manifest significant strengths and challenges simultaneously, and it can be tasking to see how they fit well into the characteristics of being gifted and having a disability. Ultimately, to achieve their optimum adjustment and performance, the best and suitable strategies for the students are to be utilized, such as focusing on child exceptional students' strengths and helping them set realistic goals. Therefore, child exceptional students or dual ability learners also need special educational services to bring out the very best potentials in them. Thank you for listening.